Hello and welcome back to another Tracker livestream, where today I will be doing the second and last attempt at the Monolith Express, but if it derails, the stream ends. Yesterday I tried this and I derailed quite quickly, and I felt that was a bit too short of a stream. So I wanted to have a second try, but if it derails again in the first 10 minutes, this will actually be it. I won't be doing a third attempt. So here's the train. Let's switch over the engines, get a cab view, and start moving. If I set the right engines up. So yesterday, if you did not see the stream yesterday, I derailed because I lost concentration going downhill. And I went a bit too fast and I couldn't brake in time for a curve. So I'm gonna try and manage my speed a bit better today, hopefully. The speed limit is 20 along here. I'm going to use gravity to keep my speed. What I might do is I might set the engines in reverse and afterburner already, so if I feel I'm going a bit fast, I can throttle up the engines quickly, and that should slow me down quite quickly. So here we go downhill. Doing exactly the same as what we did yesterday so far. And if the derail kraken happens right now, this is the end of the stream. Just like 1 or 2 minutes in. See, sometimes when you're going along these straight sections, it makes you tempted to go faster, and then you realise you cannot brake when you get to the end of the straight section. It kind of puts you in a false sense of security. Especially as you're going down a 10%, I think it's actually like 12% downhill gradient here, which is a very steep gradient. Now the speed limit at the end of this straight goes down to 10. I better slow down actually, because the points are not going to be right because of yesterday. So let's go and quickly change the points. There we go, the points have been changed. Let's release the brakes again to let it go up to 10 or maybe 20, but 20 might be a bit fast now. So we're going to arrive at the first station along this route, and that will be Switchback 2 station. There is 2 switchbacks on this route to help the train climb up the mountain. And each of them has a platform at, and a very small station at. So the speed limit is 10 round this curve. Yesterday I went round one of these 10 limits at 40 by accident. that led to the stream ending. It wasn't this curve though, it was the next one along. And here we are coming into our first stop, which is Switchback 2. Now there is a chance with this stream that, because it's the Monolith Express, we could make our way all the way to the end, which the end is Baikerbanur. If that is the case, the stream will probably end up being 4 hours long, more than. So this could end up being a very long stream. So let's change the points and go out the other way. This is where I messed up yesterday. Right, let's move this Kerbal into the driver's seat. Right, let's go. Here we go. Speed limit is 10 round this curve. And then it goes up to 40. No, it goes up to 20, then 40. Now it goes up to 20. And then it goes up to 40 once I go around this curve here. And that's where I messed up last time, because I didn't give myself enough room to slow down. Speed limit is 20 round this curve. And now the speed limit goes up to 40. Will I make it past the bit that I got to yesterday when I derailed? Will I not? Will I mess up again and derail? So, yeah, yesterday, so there's a curve at the end of this straight 40 track. And the curve is what I derailed on because I didn't slow down in time. I realised like 5 seconds before entering the curve that I was going 40. And I was probably going around 30 when I entered the curve with a speed limit of 10. The train came off the track pretty quickly. So I got to keep on top of the speed as I go down this hill. And it's very easy to accidentally speed as well because it's a very steep downhill gradient. You keep accelerating. And because the brakes are like a binary on-off, there is no way of varying the brakes. So you just have to keep pressing and letting go of B to manage the speed. I'm starting to slow down already. My hands are sweating because I don't want to make the same mistake as yesterday. Though I have to admit that was quite funny. Right, we're coming up on this curve now. I'm doing 20 as it shouldn't derail straight away if I accidentally enter the curve at 20. Right, so let's slow down to 10 now. This is the curve that I derailed on yesterday. I don't need to go as slow as 5, I'm just going that slow so I don't have to pulse the brakes so often. See, look how much better this is going with a proper speed and not like not like 3 times the speed limit. Though we better not run into the buffers at the end of the track, because that would not be very good. Bring it to a stop here. There we go. Reverse the engines. We are stopped at switchback 2. Now while I'm here, I'm actually going to refuel the train a bit. There we go, the train's been refueled. I should have probably put the refueling station at Monolith 5, but I put it there because when I was building the track, the train had virtually no fuel left. Get a nice view of the carriages curved around the curve. I'm surprised the Kraken isn't really attacking that wheel there. I guess it is attacking it a little bit, but that doesn't matter because the train can handle that. All that does is it causes a little bit of wobbling. Right, let's start going the other way. Speed limit is 10. Then once I start going downhill, the speed limit goes up to 20. Let me just check outside a minute. So the speed limit is 20 along here, and it remains at 20 for a while. There's a couple of lower bits and a couple of higher bits. It feels like we're going very slow for this straight, but the low speed limit is for a reason. It's so that I don't make the same mistake as I made yesterday on this track. Feels so slow. Especially given the train can go like 20 times faster than what I'm currently doing. You can see the couplers stretching and compressing as I put the brakes on and release them. See the carriages moving about a bit. can't remember. Is the speed limit 10 along this bit? Definitely 20. It's definitely quite nerve-wracking going downhill because you're constantly accelerating. Like, it feels like the train constantly is trying to run away from you. You get a similar feeling on Derail Valley as well when you're going downhill. It feels like the train is constantly trying to run away from you. Except, at least on Derail Valley, you have variable brakes, so you can sort of adjust the brakes until the speed is sort of so that the speed is sort of being constant. Where on here, the brakes are on and off. I could alternatively use the engines in reverse. That is an option, but then you end up wasting fuel. I guess if this was real life, it's kind of pros and cons. Like, if you used the jet engines to slow down, you end up wasting fuel, but you put less wear on the brakes. But I don't know, would going down this steep mountain put more wear on the brakes, or would slowing down from supersonic speed put more wear on the brakes? Maybe in real life they'd use reverse thrust all the time for that reason. So the speed limit maintains 20 for quite a while along here as we descend the mountain. You get quite a good view from the observation deck here, where we are facing backwards here. Snow is very bright. Let's go back to the cockpit. There's a curve coming up. Curve speed limit is 20. I don't like to change the speed limit too much as well. That's another reason why I've kept it at 20 along most of it, because it just makes it easier to remember. Like, I know that along most of this track it's 20, with a couple of areas where you have to slow down to 10. Let's have a look outside. The snow is very bright. We're speeding a little bit. Nothing I can't fix. Man, look at that bad train handling. Hang on. Why didn't I have the couplers, the buffers on the couplers? Let me just activate the buffers on the couplers. I don't know why they were not enabled. The buffers stop them ramming each other like that. There we go. The carriages are so much better behaved now. Right, the speed limit goes up to 100 along here, which is quite a hazardous speed limit. So I probably won't actually go up to 100. It's better to do it going uphill, because it's gonna be very hard to brake once the curve comes at the end of this track. But the speed limit is actually 100 along here. And this is over one of the tallest bridges on the monorail, as the bridge goes across two mountains. It goes across a valley between two mountains, making it one of the tallest bridges I've ever made for a monorail. I find it really unnerving just letting the train accelerate like this. Especially after yesterday's derailment that I had. Especially as this is like I guess like a Minecraft hardcore world where once you fail, that's it. No more. Right, I better start slowing down soon. There's a curve coming up. Right, let's slow down now. Just regulate the speed as I approach this curve. So yeah, the reason why I'm doing these streams of the monorail lately is it's actually, or yesterday was, the 2-year anniversary of the monorail, and I want to celebrate that by doing some live streams of me driving the train. It is 2 years since I first started building this train. Well, not the train, the track. This train didn't exist till like maybe a year ago. Being quite slow with my speed, but it's better to be slow and not derailing than being fast and derailing and ending the stream. I'm probably not being a very exciting stream here. Probably not being very exciting going slow and careful. But I want to see how far I can get. And if it does derail, I would rather it be the derail or tunnel kraken that derails it, rather than me. So speed limit goes back down to 20. Here we go, entering this curve with a speed limit of 20. Even if it is a bit nerve-wracking to go down, this is one of the more scenic routes on the monorail. Right, it's this over here, I believe, where the speed limit goes down to 10 again for the last time on this ride. So yeah, it's just down here the speed limit goes down to 10 for the final time. Well, not really the final time. If I make it that far, it does go down to 10 a few more times, but I highly doubt I'm going to make it that far. Because that's like 2 hours in. Maybe even 3 hours in. Like, I highly doubt I'm going to make it that far. Right, speed limit goes down to 10 here. As this is quite a sharp curve. It takes quite a while to complete the track. This Monolith Express line I'm on currently, I built it over the span of a few weeks to a month, with about a week and a half break in between. So now I'm accelerating again as the speed limit goes back up to 20. But if you're on about like the whole railway, if I sort of condensed the entire amount of time it took me to build, where I'm building it and not taking a break, probably maybe 2 or 3 months worth of building. So the speed limit goes up to 20, well I'm at 20, so the speed limit doesn't go up, it's up from the 10 that it was at. And we should be soon reaching the high speed bit. In maybe about 10 minutes, I think, we should be reaching the high speed bit. The high speed bit's always quite fun, because it really feels like you're going fast. I'm just having a look. I think, would the speed limit go up to 40 along there? I would say the speed limit does go up to 40 along that bit of straight track there. You may notice some of the track is floating. I tried not to make it look too bad, but like I couldn't really be bothered to make the track connect with the ground all the way along, because that would take quite a long time, and I would rather have a functional track that works. But again, I wouldn't go so far to then just build a very long straight bridge going up to the top of the mountain that is like 5 kilometers tall, because I think that would look hideous, personally, having a bridge that's 5 kilometers tall. Like, yes, with that design you can go fast up the mountain, but I really wouldn't like the look of a 5 kilometer high bridge that goes down to the ground over like the span of 100 kilometers. I'm maintaining 20 meters per second along here. Yes, you do get the scenic route this way. If I was in the right end of the observation deck, I could view the mountains. In fact, you can see the mountains from this end of the observation deck, which the observation deck is this bit like, I imagine it's like the first class area, and the Kerbals can go into the observation deck where they can view through these big windows with 180-degree vision. This is regular passenger view, and regular passenger view on the other side, and cab view. The second stage is the engines going the other way. I will never use the spacebar to activate those. I would use an action group, which is 0. So there I'm activating the action group. Yeah. Soon I'll be going quite fast on this one. Yeah, I've got a few action groups on this train. I've got 5, which locks the couplers so that I can enable auto strut throughout the length of the train. And the reason for that is so that I can use vessel mover without the carriages bending. Action group 9 activates afterburners on the engines, and action group 10 or 0 activates reverse thrust or just activates the other engines. If you look at the engines on the roof, you'll notice there are 6 engines facing forwards and 6 engines facing backwards. Pressing 0 just switches between the ones on the front and the ones on the back. There we are, going round this curve here. I wish you could like have locked camera for just one of the carriages and then have it like that, so you could see the carriages snaking round like that from the outside. And it would look like one of those videos where someone sticks the camera out a window and you can see the carriages curving round the curve. We're nearly off of the high speed bit. No, we're nearly off of the slow speed bit, I mean. The high speed bit is that bit. A very tall bridge, but that's needed for a high speed bit. And that bit there is where the train can go up to 400 meters per second. Right, we're getting close to the fast bit now. The max speed this train can go is 400 meters per second. The fastest I've ever gone in this train is 680, no, about 670 meters per second, but it derailed very quickly at that speed. And derailments start getting a bit more likely as soon as you reach around 420. So I decided for safety reasons to have the max speed at 400. But the train can certainly go faster. The original design with this train, the first design of the supersonic train was just designed to break the sound barrier. So you would just set the throttle to max and leave it. Then this version of the supersonic train was designed to optimize all of the draggy areas of the train to allow it to go faster. And the initial attempt was to try and make the train reach Mach 2, but it derailed every time I tried getting close to Mach 2, so I do have a video of it nearly reaching Mach 2, and the thumbnail of the video shows it nearly at Mach 2 with some of the carriages flying off of the track. Right, we're approaching the fast bit. We've made it a lot further than yesterday. I'm not sure if it's to do with the wheels as such. I think it's more to do with the track that I'm using. Right, we're accelerating to Mach 1. But yeah, it's more to do with the track, really, because if I zoom in on the track, you can see the track sort of humps up and down. And those humps make the train bounce a lot at high speed. There's the afterburners. This is the fastest we've gone on this stream so far. While we're accelerating, I'm going to move the Kerbal in the observation deck to the front. Yes, it probably does warm up the passenger cabins. You'd probably need some thermal insulation or some kind of insulation on the carriage just above the engines so that they don't... I'd imagine that the metal probably gets close to melting point if it was real life. So here's the observation deck on the front. We have broken 200 meters per second. Yeah. We're about to break 300 meters per second. Yes, the glass would probably melt if it was real life. But, you know, this is Kerbal Space Program. They make special glass which can handle high temperatures. And we have broken the sound barrier. We are now going supersonic. And here we are entering the first tunnel of the route. Right, let me sit down a minute as I need to throttle down to keep it at max speed. Now when inside the tunnel Kraken can strike at any moment. The tunnel Kraken will cause a violent explosion of the train. We are at full speed now. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Let's have a look at the passenger cabin. This is inside the passenger cabin. We're inside another tunnel. Oh, that was the derail Kraken. We're fine though, we're still on the track. But we can't go supersonic anymore because it broke the fairings. We were so lucky there. Unfortunately, we can't go supersonic anymore. Which is probably the most fun bit about driving this train. Now, this doesn't count as a derailment, even though it is called the derail Kraken. Yes, that was close. It doesn't count as a derailment as the train is still on the track. But the derail Kraken could have very easily made it come off, though. We have lost our fairings, though, which means the train cannot go very fast anymore. As in, to be fair, 300 meters per second is still pretty fast. Here's the passenger cabin. Reverse cab. There's the mountains we were just in. And the observation deck. I find it very fun when the train goes through a storm, because I've got the volumetric clouds mod. I find it very fun when the train goes through a thunderstorm. Though looking at the sky, we've got a very clear sky today, with only a couple of clouds over there. Here we are approaching the third tunnel on the route. That was the second derail kraken, I must add. I can hear a lot of explosions. Two of the carriages have disconnected. Right, viewers. Do we consider that a derailment, or do I keep going? Technically, the rear two carriages are still on the track, but they disconnected. Do we consider this a derailment? Is this the end of the stream? Or do I keep going, as the front two carriages are still on the track? That does mean we're able to reach supersonic speeds again. What do you think? You should keep going. Let's see how far we can make it with these two carriages. It seems the Kraken is very angry today, given that it's attacked twice in the span of 40 minutes. Also, oh yeah, we're missing the fuel car. We're missing the fuel car. Yeah, that would definitely be a concern. As in, do I have chat's permission to enable infinite fuel so I can keep going? Because it's going to run out in a few seconds. As in, no infinite fuel. We'll see how far we can make it. Even without the afterburners, we have about 3 minutes of fuel left. What about if if the train can't move anymore? Does chat want me to say spawn in some new carriages if the train comes to a stop? We have just under 3 minutes of fuel left. We'll see how far we can make it on 100 seconds of fuel. As in, I don't know, the burn counter's being a bit off. We've got about 40 seconds of fuel left now. have about 20 seconds of fuel left now. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we are out of fuel. We are now coasting. Yes. Yeah. This is the final attempt at this challenge, Rose. This is just a special stream. This stream and yesterday's stream are just special streams as it's the 2-year anniversary. But maybe we can do this another time, maybe on the 3-year anniversary, I don't know. Or maybe I can do it in a week, I don't know. I don't do streams very often. But yes, we could do another stream in the future. Now the train can coast quite a long distance, so we're going to be going for quite a while, just under no power. Yes. Yeah. Yo, maybe like Thursdays and Fridays, I guess. I don't know, like we've got a thunderstorm ahead of us over there. Will we make it to the thunderstorm? Or will the train come to a stop by that point? The train is gradually losing speed here. Now, would getting out with a Kerbal and pushing the train be cheating? To just push it to like the next station. That would take ages, so I don't think I would have the yeah. As in, we might even reach the storm just by coasting. As the speed drops, the amount of drag and friction drops, meaning the rate at which it slows down significantly drops once it gets to a lower speed. Yeah. These trains are designed to be quite frictionless so that they can go fast. Now the thing is, because we left I was thinking maybe I should, after it comes to a stop, I should switch to the carriages that were left behind to see what was left of them, but they were left in a tunnel, so that won't work out very well, because because the tunnels actually do go under the terrain, the game's gonna try putting the train carriages on top of the terrain and they probably explode. So yeah, the Kraken has been very much against us today. We're slowly but surely making our way to this land here. Yeah, there's the storm over there, directly ahead of us. We might even make it into this tunnel over there, which you cannot see because of the curvature of the planet. You can see the top of the entrance of the tunnel, but you cannot see the actual tunnel. The train's going very slow now. I would say once the train reaches around 20 meters per second, I'm going to apply the brakes to make it stop. As I don't think I would really have the patience to fully wait for it to stop. Because it will probably keep rolling at 5 meters per second. Until it reaches a hill and then it'll probably start rolling backwards. Yeah. But you see, the train didn't actually derail, so does that mean the stream is just never going to end now? I've not really planned for the derail Kraken to take out the train, but keep it on the track. I will end the stream at some point. I'll probably look at the other two carriages to see what happened to them and then end the stream. I don't know, maybe I could intentionally derail the train to make an end condition for a stream. Almost like a stalemate in chess. You're admitting defeat by intentionally derailing it. Though even then, if I use like a object thrower to place an object on the track, I don't think it's going fast enough anymore to be derailed by anything. It's kind of at that speed now that it cannot derail. Shall I try putting a object in front of the train with object thrower and see if that derails the train? Unfortunately, the storms don't do anything really. They just add a rain effect and the sound of thunder. We'll try object thrower, I think. Set the mass down. I don't want to, like... Yeah. Let's see if that works. Oh, yeah, that derailed it. That actually worked quite well at derailing it. As in, to be fair, the object that I placed on the track weighed 50 tons. One of the engines is rolling downhill. Now, just before... Yeah. Now, before we end the stream, I'm just gonna have a look at the other carriages to see what's left of them. They're probably going to explode instantly because they were left in the tunnel. Yes, they're immediately exploding. In fact, there is only one carriage left of the two other carriages. But everyone survived. No Kerbals were harmed in the making of this stream. So here is one of the derailed carriages. So if you didn't enjoy this stream, remember to dislike and unsubscribe, and maybe you won't watch the next video or stream.